watch it. It's a good
Going to watch
watch.
it. I just haven't got a chance to yet.
It's definitely a good watch.
I
It's
heard I've heard about the Roddy Piper one. The Roddy Piper one, my best friend, who is a comedian, he's not even a wrestling fan. He watched the Roddy Piper one, and
mhm.
he was popping on all kinds of stuff and was texting me all throughout it and was just like, dude, this guy is incredible. So
I have to go back in because I actually thought I set it to record and I didn't, unfortunately. So I have to go back and try to find it. But the Steve Austin one, I definitely checked out and I liked it. I know there's a lot of stuff missing just because I've been paying attention to a lot of Steve Austin stuff throughout his retirement. But there's also things that they added that did not know about. Um, it's definitely a good watch, especially as an Austin fan. It's just the whole roller coaster ride that he had leading up to King of the Ring and how he became Stone Cold and all that stuff. It's actually really entertaining. Um, one of the things that we had as a discussion is the fact that in WrestleMania 18, it ended up being Hogan versus Rock for, ultimately who two different eras facing each other.
for
And
sure.
you can kind of argue that Stone Cold technically should have probably been in that spot. But at the same time, the caveat to it is Stone Cold was racking up injuries, and we wouldn't have been able to have the other side of that with like Rock or Stone Cold versus Cena, but we got Rock versus Cena, which was able to happen.
Right.
Torch goes from Hogan to Rock, and then Rock to Cena. So,
Yeah, and
um,
that Steve Austin spot in that Rushmore could
mm,
easily be interchanged out with The Rock. You know what I mean? Like
yeah,
either or you could put in that spot just because they literally like were the reason WWE is in the position that they are today. You know what I mean?
agreed,
So
agreed. A lot of
uh
people. A lot of people, like even Jericho, said during his Austin interview on Broken Skull Sessions that we sometimes get lucky enough to have one like a Hogan. He goes, in our era we had two. We had Rock and Austin.
right, exactly. Exactly. Yeah, man.
It's crazy to go back and think. And then one of the biggest complaints. So if you haven't listened to our podcast before, we kind of rag on WWE a lot, um, and it's well deserved criticism. Um, it's not. It's one of those things that like him and I discuss. It's not that we hate WWE. We're disappointed in them,
For
and
sure. Right.
they had this thing back in the 90s and early 2000s. If someone was gone, they had someone right there to take the spot. You had The Rock, you had Austin, you had Triple H, you had Jericho, other people also, swinging in and out of the main event with like
Yeah.
Mankind, Undertaker, Kane. I don't know how they broke the formula, but they broke the formula to where now it doesn't work. And
Right.
and if one person's gone, it's blatantly obvious. And one of the bad things is, we talked about post WrestleMania Raw. The writing for Raw has been bad, and it's always been this thing where you guys have a ton of talent on your roster. I mean, they got Owens, they got McIntyre, they have Lashley, MVP, Roman Reigns, which thank God they turned him heel. Uh, they have all these people that Sami Zayn that are very entertaining people on their own. It's just, what are you doing? So,
Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
China, and to go with your Rushmore thing with China, you, they kind of messed this up in the early 2000s with like very sexualized women's wrestlers, but China kind of already broke that mold.
Yeah.
And, and I think honestly, with China, if she would have came later and been around in this era, she would probably be a huge, much more large of a star than she was back then.
Oh, I agree. Well,
China,
or even if even if her, run was just maybe 5 years later, you know what I mean? Like
yeah,
because I feel like if she would have done the same things that she had done and
mhm.
then been a vet in this era, oh man. Uh, oh, man.
And that applies to Beth Phoenix as well, because Beth Phoenix, I feel did not fit with the era that she was in as well.
Agreed.
Um,
Yeah, she was not a diva whatsoever, but she fits in real well with this era these days. Yeah. Yeah.
like a China versus Rhea Ripley, a China versus Charlotte, a China
Oh
versus
man.
Asuka,
Oh yeah. It'd be
and
amazing.
Becky Lynch and all that. And of course, Cena, you got to respect him for what he did. He carried that company on his back for the last 10, 15 years. So,
For sure. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah,
um,
man. I was kind of looking at it at every era, and then I wanted to put a woman on there. Now that I think about it, you could probably interchange China with Alundra Blaze too, but
Yeah,
that's all semantics.
yeah, they're very similar in style. They
Oh yeah,
both kind of ushered in a more. We're not here for everyone to look at. We're here to actually entertain you
we're
and actually be legit wrestlers.
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Now this is a question more directed at you. With you traveling and whatnot, what kind of diet do you stick to? A diet, or do you just kind of like, I'll pull over at any spot I can get food at?
Uh, I pretty much. I try only because it's supposed to be the healthier meat. I try to stick to eating mostly chicken.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, man, I'm really bad about watching what I eat and stuff, and especially on the road. It's a quick, pull over and pick something up and get back on the road. Because
Right.
a lot of times we get there, do our job, turn around, and go right back home. Now, I will say that, especially in the last like couple years,
Mm-hmm.
I say the last half of my career so far. If I've been very, very adamant about, if we are able to and if we have the time, trying to find somewhere to eat that I can't eat back home. You know what I mean?
Not a
Uh,
bad idea.
yeah, like um, even if it's as simple as, we're in St. Louis, so I'm gonna eat Jack in the Box because we don't have Jack in the Box here in Louisville. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Um, Even if it's something like that, that is one, I guess, rule to my diet that I try to stick by, is eating somewhere that I can't eat back home. But as far as like sticking to a strict diet, like or trying to watch what I eat, definitely fail at that part.
Hey, there's no judgment here. It's interesting, like we ask a lot of people that we talk to about it, just to kind of get an idea, because you get a wide range of answers there. You know what I mean? There's some people that are very, very strict to where they literally pack a lunchbox for no matter where they're going, kind of thing. So,
Yeah.
um, and I feel you on the healthier meats. I try to stick to chicken as well for the same purpose.
Right. And like, trust me, it's not like, where I'm eating grilled chicken every day. Like there are some weeks where I'll be watching myself on camera and I'm like, all right, I need to kind of watch what I'm eating next week. And so I literally make a bunch of grilled chicken for myself,
Mhm.
but and I'll just eat it all week.
Yeah.
But throughout the week, for the most part, like when I say chicken, it's like, chicken tenders, or like, whether it be a quesadilla from Taco Bell, or
Right. Yeah, I
stuff
got
like
you.
that.
I got
That,
you.
like, usually I
Uh,
just, if there's chicken on the menu, that's normally what I'm going for.
I don't blame you. I love chicken personally.
I
Do
do
you eat
too.
chicken?
Yeah.
Do you like chicken wings?
Oh, I love wings.
So
Absolutely.
now you're in Kentucky. So what's your go-to spot for wings in Kentucky?
We have a place here in Louisville. It's called Indies,
Okay.
Indies Wing.
Okay.
Um, it's either that or um, I'm hey, I'm not afraid to admit it. I'm a huge fan of Pizza Hut's wings.
Oh yeah, they're not bad. They're not
Pizza
bad
Hut
at all.
wings, you know what I mean? But as far as like, if I'm wanting wings, I'm going to Indies. There's also another. I mean, it's hood spots over in Louisville. You know what I mean? But yeah, either Indies or Kings over in the West End. That's pretty much my go-tos for chicken wings. So
Now in Kentucky, do you guys have Hooters? Is it up there?
yes, we do have Hooters. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
What do you
Good.
think of their wings?
Um, they're decent. You know, what I mean, they're not bad.
Okay.
But like, but even then, like, if I want wings that are like the style of Hooters wings, because
Mhm.
Indies wings, I don't know, there's just something about them. I don't know if it's like the whatever they put on them.
Right.
Uh, they're not like real big wings like, Hooters and all that. But have you ever heard of a restaurant? I don't know how chain this restaurant is, but Roosters.
It's not down here.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah, there's a restaurant called Roosters, and they got huge wings. Have one of my favorite sauces that I've ever had, called a Carolina Gold. So like, if I'm in the mood for wings, like, wings, beer, the whole nine, I guess,
Right.
experience.
Yeah.
then I go to Cluckers. I mean, then I go to Roosters instead of Hooters. So
So, um, where you stayed at when you went to the beach down here in Florida, if you go across the bridge, you would actually have found the very, very first Hooters. It's actually based out of Florida. They started over here. That's why I actually brought up Hooters because I know they're a major chain. The other ones that are very popular down here, they're not that big of a chain. Like your wing houses and like the Roosters. I actually pulled up a picture. Roosters, the Florida equivalent is Mugs and Jugs down here.
okay,
Uh, so yeah, Florida. Weirdly enough, we're the reason why girls wear skimpy outfits in wing places.
right.
The Hooters started down here. Yeah, I just was curious about that because I'm a big chicken wing fan. Like my go-to, you mentioned Mania. Go-to during Mania is chicken wings.
I feel
Drink it
that.
like a, drink it like a Super Bowl.
Right.
Um,
Yeah.
now, where can anyone find your info?
Uh, Everything as far as Twitter and Instagram is the same. It's at official SPO 502. And then I'm also on Facebook. You can add me or follow me on there, but I have to delete friends all the time. If you really want to be my friend on Facebook, I'll delete a friend for you. It's Sean Patrick O'Brien, SEAN. Is how you spell that. So yeah, at official SPO 502, and then on Facebook, Sean Patrick O'Brien. And then also, we had mentioned Pro Wrestling Tees. My Pro Wrestling Tees store is the same. ProWrestlingTees.com/official SPO 502.
Yep, and he has a shirt up there called Referee Man Bun. We were
That's
not
right.
joking about that whatsoever.
Not at all. Not at all. Yeah, you can rock it and make fun of me in style.
Where can anyone get IWA Mid South on anything on the internet, like streaming wise?
Oh yeah, for sure, man. Well, IWA, and then also a lot of the companies that I work for stream on independentwrestling.tv, IWTV. IWA usually posts their shows about 2 weeks after they happen. And then ICW No Holds Barred, one of the companies that we talked about, they have stuff. They actually stream live most of their shows on IWTV. And then Paradigm, like a lot of the companies I work for actually do their stuff through that streaming service, and you can find a lot of different stuff through there. So IWTV, you can find some of my stuff on Fight TV, all over the place, man. High Spots, I got to shout those guys out because Glory Pro is on High Spots. So yeah, all over the place.
Yeah, I had to ask about IWA Mid South because we're talking with more of you guys. I've been getting more and more interested in IWA Mid South, so
For
I want
sure,
to be able
yeah,
to
man.
find it because down
Yeah,
here you can't get it.
IWTV is only $10 a month, and there's all the recent stuff that IWA Mid South has done, and then there's also a lot of older stuff that IWA Mid South has done, like some of the old CM Punk and Chris Hero and all that stuff. So, because I'm not sure how familiar you are with the history of IWA, but man, there's a lot of stuff that has happened there.
I'm not very familiar. I'm still, we're trying to get, expand as much as possible. I lean more heavy into independent than my partner does, and that's not a dig at him. There's different things that we prefer, and I was a big New Japan fan before him and ROH.
Okay.
So that's, I like the ultra athletic style, and that seems to be heavier found in independents. That's the style I enjoy, and I've been wanting to find out more about it. And there's not without talking to guys that are independents and living it. It's kind of hard to find all the people that are all the independents that are running out there. I know they exist. It's just I don't know the names of them. So just trying to find them out.
Just for context, if you're at a computer, Google the TPI 2004 list, and then just look at all the names that are on there. That was in 2004 IWA Mid South. So, and now we're still doing what we're doing today, and it's crazy, man. But yeah, IWA Mid South has got a huge history. What we were talking about originally, You can go back and look at some of that stuff on IWTV, some of their more recent stuff. And IWTV is only $10 a month.